Hey guys, welcome to Raw Customs. I'm your host, Patrick Rapolo, and on this episode we're going to be covering how to put together the Batman Cowl. So I have a kit available. The kit comes with all your foam pieces cut out, etched, and ready for you to get started on your project. I also have templates available if you'd like to go that route. If you're interested in either one of those, head down to the description area below. You'll find some links there. So one of the best things about this helmet, other than the fact that it is Batman and it is cool, is the seam placement where your pieces are glued together. So where I put them, instead of actually trying to seal them and hide them, I'm actually using them as an accent. So if you take your rotary tool and you just barely knock off the top corners on this, it'll actually give you more of a little bit of gap when you glue the pieces together so that the actual seams will stand out and add to the overall look of the helmet. Now I actually recommend, as you put this helmet together, actually dry fitting your parts together before you put glue on them. I actually recommend doing that on all your builds. That way you'll know how the parts are going to come together and you'll be able to make reference marks if you need to for alignment and stuff. But in this case, you'll see where the joints are going to come together from piece to piece. That way it'll make it easier for you to know which areas you want to knock off to actually accent those seams, and the areas where you might want to make a bigger beveled area, say around this area. Now I did make the strap where you're going to be able to adjust this or size it to fit your head just the way you want it to. Now as far as making it come on and off, in this case I actually used magnets, and I really like that because it snaps right back in place. However, you can always just use some Velcro if that works better for you. Now in this particular helmet, I ended up putting some mirrored lenses in here just from some cheap sunglasses from the dollar store. Now I did end up using my rotary tool to actually cut out the edges and make them smaller where they fit in here a little bit better. However, that's not necessary, but it is a cool look if it's something you think you might want to do. Now the lenses aren't necessary, guys. You can always go with an open eye, which is a little bit more comfortable and you can see a little bit better as well. Now to get the helmet to fit just right, I recommend picking up some polyfoam. This particular helmet you're going to want to pull back into your face. So in that case, I'd recommend putting some foam right in the back of the helmet. That way it presses against the back of the head and pushes the helmet back into your face, which is going to give you the best look on this helmet. So as far as putting it on, it's just a matter of loosening up your strap, and with the magnets it just snaps right into place. Now I still need to put, like I was talking about the polyfoam, I still need to put in this helmet to get it to fit and hold back, but you can have a look at how it looks. Alright guys, if you'd like to see some more of what I'm working on, stick around to the end of the video, but for now, let's get to the build. For this build you'll need the kit or the templates. If you go with the templates, you'll need 3 sheets of 5mm EVA foam, 12 by 18 inch sheets, some contact cement, PLASTI dip, spray paint, a heat gun, rotary tool, a razor knife, and some Velcro. Start with the top piece. At the front you'll find 2 lines cut into the foam. This is the bottom side. On the top side of the piece, round over the top edge on both sides and to the back. You don't want to take off much, just knock off the top corner. I recommend using a rotary tool with a grinding stone to do this. Next, use a heat gun to heat your piece on both sides. Then form it over something round. Here I'm using a plastic light cover for a ceiling fan. I found it at Home Depot for around $15 to $20. They happen to have a large one and a small one as well, so if you're into foam smithing, I'd recommend you pick up both. While you're forming your piece, you'll want to push straight down on the foam. You're wanting to round over and form the piece, but not to stretch it. Next, heat the front section where the lines are etched. You'll want to focus the heat just at the front of your piece. Once the front is heated, bend the section up along the cut line and bow the front edge up simultaneously. This will give you a nice impression along your eyebrow line. Now grab the top side pieces. The side with the etched lines goes to the inside of the helmet. On the outside of the helmet, round over the top and back edge. Round over the bottom at the leg at the front, and to the front edge up to the corner. On the arc on the bottom edge, I recommend doing a half bevel. When I say half bevel, I mean a bevel around half the thickness of the foam. Next, heat the piece and fold it down along the cut line, in the center. At the front, slightly bow the front section out along the cut line. I recommend doing a dry fit of your pieces before you add the glue and start putting them together. This way you'll have an idea of how the pieces are going to fit together. For glue, I recommend using contact cement. On the top piece, apply glue to the outside edge halfway down to the point. On the side piece, apply glue along the top edge. Once the glue's set, you can press your pieces together. Line up the back edge of the side with the corner on the top piece, then work your way from the back to the front. Since you've rounded over your top edges, this will give you a nice looking seam between the two parts. So in this case, you'll want to try and keep the bottom edges flush between the two pieces as you glue them together. Once you get to the front eye area, slightly lift this area as you glue it together. Since the foam has been heated and molded, it may have slightly stretched. So as you get close to the ends, you may have to slightly push and pull to get the ends to line up correctly. Next, apply glue to the bottom surface of the helmet at the front eye section, from the line at the inside of the eye to the outside edge. Next, take the eyelid piece and apply glue along the top edge. To glue the piece in place, start in the center of the helmet. Line up the edge of the eyelid with the line for the eye in the center, and press your pieces together, working your way to the outside while keeping the front edges flush. Once your pieces are glued together, you can use a rotary tool to clean up your seams and round over the top edges at the top. Next, grab the nose guard. The cut lines go to the bottom side of the helmet. Use a rotary tool to do a small round over on both ends and to the short flat area on each end. On the bottom, I recommend doing a big full round over, rounding over the entire edge. On the curved section for the eyes, I recommend a half bevel. And at the top center above the nose, leave that area as is. Next, heat the piece on both sides. Then turn the bottom side face up. Then use something straight and thin like a metal ruler and place it into the cuts in the center and fold the piece over. This will help you give a nice hard bend. Then you'll want to give a slight bow on each outside section. At the top of the nose, the outside edge will line up with the inside edge with the eyelid piece. On the nose guard, apply glue to the edges on each end and to the top flat spot on each end, and to the edge at the top of the nose. On the top, apply glue to the front edges on each side, to the front center edge, and to the surface area of the eyelids at the inside edge. Next, glue the nose guard in place, starting at the ends. Then glue the center in place, keeping the front edges flush. On the side at the top of the nose, line up the inside edge flush with the edge of the eyelid. You have 3 pieces for each ear. Pieces out with your reference lines facing up and the side protrusions facing the same way. Use a heat gun to heat the large piece and then bend it along the reference line. Next, apply glue to the inside surface area along the front and back edge. On the piece with the reference line at the bottom curve, apply glue to the back edge, which is the long edge, and to the surface area along the front edge, the side without the reference line. On the thin piece, apply glue to both side edges. Next, take the thin piece with the bowed edge facing out and line up the front edge with the top front edge of the large main piece. Work your way from the front to the top point, keeping your edges flush. As you press the pieces together, you'll need to force it to make the bend as you glue the pieces together. Next, take the inside piece of the ear. The side with the reference line should face out. Line up the front edge with the front edge of the thin strip. Press your pieces together, working your way to the top. Again, you'll have to force it to make the bend and make sure to keep your front edges flush. On the back edge, start at the top point. On the inside wall at the top, roll the edge down into the outside piece. Get it to glue together as close as you can to the top point. Then continue to roll the edge as you work your way down. At the start, this can be a little tedious, but it gets easier the closer you get to the bottom. Once your pieces are assembled, you can use your rotary tool to clean up your seams and round over your edges. On the inside edge of the ear at the front, you'll have a little bit extra that hangs over. Use your rotary tool to sand it down and make it even with the front edge. Then make a small round over on your front, bottom, and back edge. Next, use some scissors or a razor to trim off the very tip of the ear. Then use a rotary tool to clean it up and round it over. At this point, it's a good time to fill and hide the seams on the ears. One good idea for this is to use gel super glue. I like to apply it directly to the seam a couple of inches at a time, and then use a razor to smooth it and feather it out. Let the glue completely dry, and then it can be sanded smooth. When sanding, use very light pressure. Next, line up your ears in place on the helmet. Then make a reference mark on the helmet at the back of the ear. Apply glue to the edge of the helmet where the front of the ear meets up, and to the edge of the back of the helmet down to your reference mark. Then apply glue to the front edges of the ear and to the bottom inside surface area along your reference line. Press your ear in place starting at the bottom edge of the helmet, working your way to the top. At the top of the helmet, work your way from the front to the back. Now grab the bottom side piece. Line up the back top corner with the bottom corner on the ear. Then make a reference mark on the helmet at the front where the opening starts. Then use your rotary tool to match your half bevel down to your mark. On the bottom side of the helmet at the front point of the opening to the back, make a half bevel with your rotary tool. Then make a small round over all the way around on the remaining edges. Next, heat your piece on both sides. At the front, slightly bow the lower end down. At the top back, at the V for the ear section, give it a sharp bend just at the top. Then bow the back end around. Your bend should start in front of the curved line at the bottom. Line up your side piece with the helmet, then make a reference mark on the helmet at the front edge of the side piece. On the helmet, apply glue to the side edge of the back, to the bottom of the ear to your reference line, and to the front area under the mask. On the side, apply glue to the V area, the back edge, and to the front where it meets the mask. Press the side piece in place starting at the bottom of the ear, then move to the front under the mask. Next, press your back edges together, working your way from the top to the bottom. Now it's time to put in the inner side pieces. Line your piece up on the inside of the helmet using the reference lines. Then on the inside of the helmet, trace the piece out, marking a reference line for glue. Apply glue to the marked area inside the helmet and to the outside of the reference line on your inner side piece. Next, bow the ends of your side piece down. Then line it up on the inside of the helmet using your reference lines. I recommend starting at the bottom edge in the center. Take your time and press your piece into place, following your reference lines. Next, take the back bottom piece and round over the bottom edge. Then heat seal the piece. You'll find a center mark at the top of the bottom piece and on the bottom of the helmet on the inside. Line up your pieces using the center marks, then mark a reference line along the bottom edge of the helmet and on the inside helmet around the back piece. Apply glue to your marked areas and then glue your piece in place. You have a strip and 2 buckles to make up the bottom chin strap. On the buckles, round over the top edge all the way around. Place one of your buckles on the strap with the inside curve facing the end. Leave around 1 inch from the edge of the buckle to the end of the strap. Then trace a reference line around your buckle. Apply glue to the back of the buckle and to the strap from the bottom reference line all the way up to the end and to the inside of the helmet where the strap will set. Once the glue set, glue your buckle in place on the strap. Then line up the top edge of the buckle with the bottom edge on the helmet and glue the strap in place. At this point, you'll want to put on the helmet to adjust your strap. Make sure to leave it loose enough so you can open your mouth. Once you've figured out your length, make a reference mark on the strap at the bottom of the helmet. Go up around 1 inch past your reference mark and cut off the extra. Then line up the buckle with your reference mark and trace reference lines. Apply glue to the strap inside your reference lines and to the back of the buckle. Once the glue's set, you can press your buckle in place. Next, heat your strap and bow it into a U shape. One idea to hold the strap in place is to use Velcro. This is as easy as sticking it to the strap and into the inside of the helmet. Another idea for holding the strap in place is to use small magnets. Find a bit for your rotary tool that matches the size of the magnet. You'll need this to drill a recess for the magnet. I recommend practicing this on a scrap piece of foam before you do it on the actual helmet. To make sure the magnets line up, take something with a sharp point and press it through the strap where the magnets will set. Then line your strap up inside the helmet, then run the pin through the holes in the strap to mark the points on the inside of the helmet. Make sure not to poke a hole all the way through the helmet. Once you have your marks, use your rotary tool to cut your recess holes for your magnet. You can use super glue to glue the magnets in place. To seal the foam, I recommend PLASTI dip. I recommend applying 2 light coats followed by 2 heavy coats. Once the PLASTI dip set, you can spray on your paint. I recommend 2 light coats followed by 1 to 2 heavy coats. For the detail work, I like to use an airbrush. But this isn't necessary. You can use paint brushes, sponge brushes, paint pens, whatever works for you. To finish off the paint job, I like to use a couple of coats of clear. Well, alright guys, there you go. The Batman helmet. So cool. I've been waiting so long to get this out and done for you guys. But I'm very happy with how this turned out. One of the best things about me taking my time is I always tend to come up with ideas that make the helmet easier to put together. Like in this case, you notice in the video that this entire bottom on the side is in one piece. Originally, it was in 4 pieces gluing together. So this is one of the earlier builds, one of my test builds, and this is a separate piece, this one, this piece, and this. So that's 4 pieces per side that got turned into one piece. This is what I go through when I'm making my test builds like this. When I start putting things together, that's when my brain starts clicking and I see better ways to put something together and try to make it just a little bit easier for you guys to put together. So here's a look side by side of just a couple of different paint jobs. Now this was only missing the strap because this is going to fit my son, so I'm waiting for him to come over so I can actually fit the strap to him, so it's a perfect fit on his head, not mine. Now if you've been watching my channel, you know I've been working on tactical armor, which is meant to be universal so that you guys can paint it up in different ways and actually make modifications to it to fit your projects, what you're working on, to give you that custom look for your costumes. So the next piece that will be coming out on the tactical armor is the tactical Shin Armor. Now this is the test build, however I have already made some modifications to the new one, so I will be making a build pretty soon, and hopefully within a month or two I'll have that video and template kit out for you guys so that you can finish up your costumes. So the main idea behind the tactical armor was for it to be universal and be able to fit several other costumes. Now going right along with that idea is to do more universal armors. In this case, I'm already working on a sci-fi armor, so I've been working on a gauntlet and a bicep piece for another set of armor, and I've already got a good idea for the chest armor, which I really want to get started on. And I've also got some ideas for hero armor as well, and this will be the first piece of that, which is Shin Armor. I mainly designed this piece because I wanted to go with the Captain America armor and thought it would look better than the tactical Shin Armor that I'm working on right now. So guys, the biggest thing I've been working on is the Iron Man armor. Like I said, it is my goal to get this thing done and start getting videos out for you guys this year, so I have put a lot of time and effort into getting this thing together. So this is the test build, guys, so I haven't done any video work on it other than the helmet, which is out. However, I am down to the shoes. I still need to design those and get those figured out and put on here, but once that's done, the next step is to actually start making the tutorials and start getting those things ready to get out for you guys. And the last thing I got for you guys today is a snow speeder. Check that out. This is made of foam because that's kind of what I do around here, guys. But look at that, it's turning out so cool. This is the first time I've even attempted to do this with foam, so I'm really happy with this. So maybe you're asking, why am I doing this? Because I'm doing it for my soon-to-be grandson, which will be here in about 2 months. Yes, that means I am about to be a grandfather. Very excited about that too, guys. So if you'd like to see me do a build on this and even make it a kit, let me know. I plan on doing a few more things like this. I'm already thinking about doing an X-Wing, a TIE Fighter, and maybe an AT-AT. We'll see what happens. But thought y'all might get a kick out of that. It's looking pretty cool. Alright guys, that's it for this build. God bless. I'll see you on the next one.